Hola, soy yo, Vicky, otra vez. It's me, Vicky, again. And in today's video, we're going to look at 10 common mistakes that people make in Spanish. So, 10 errores comunes que hace la gente en español. Now, some of these, I'm just giving you a little warning here and now. Some of these are a little bit risque, I suppose is the word. They're not. There's no bad language, there's nothing terrible, but some of these, because I'm explaining to you what you shouldn't say because it might be misconstrued. So just to give you a little gentle warning, if you're very, 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 very easily offended, or if you're watching this with a child, it might not be a good idea. That's all. Okay, so let's look at number 1. Nothing risque about this one. La gente. Now, this is such a common mistake that people make. My students do, everybody does it. Remembering that people, la gente is people. In English, people is plural. You'd say the people are angry. Now notice that in Spanish, la gente, not only is it singular, not plural, but it's feminine even though it ends in E. So, la gente es enfadada. So if you were saying the people are angry, in Spanish you're saying la gente es. The people is singular. And your adjective, angry, is enfadada because it's feminine, not masculine. So trying to remember that people, la gente, is feminine and singular. If you struggle with that, sometimes you can use las personas instead, which is easy to remember is plural and feminine because it's las personas, it's as on the end. I think the problem that people have with gente is the fact that it ends in an E, but actually it's feminine, and the fact that people in English is plural. Okay, so that's number 1. Número 2, the difference between muy and mucho. Yeah, so many people get these wrong. So muy, we have to remember, means very. Anytime in English you would say very, you would use muy. And muy is an adverb, so it always relates to a verb. Aprendes muy rápido. You learn very quickly. Okay? Whereas mucho refers to quantity and would relate to many or much or a lot. So mucho is quantity, many, much, a lot. He aprendido mucho. I have learnt a lot. Me gusta mucho aprender. I like learning a lot. So that's the difference. Muy is very, aprendes muy rápido. He aprendido mucho. I have learned a lot. O me gusta mucho aprender. I like learning a lot. Okay. This is one that's so ever so slightly risque. Please don't think it's, X-rated. It's not. Remember to pronounce the nye, the tilde on the N, because it can make a difference to the meaning of the word. If you don't pronounce the nye, remember the N without the tilde is ene, N with the tilde is enye. And so these words, we have año, año. So it sounds like it's A-N-Y-O, not ano, which means something completely different. So año means year and ano means anus. So quite a big difference. Moño and mono. Moño is a bun in your hair and a mono is a monkey. So not quite as embarrassing, but still completely different word. Uña, una. So an uña is your nail or a claw. It can be an animal's claws or it can be our fingernails. Uña. Whereas una, of course, is the number one, or a, like a house, una casa. So remember the difference. Año, ano. Moño, mono. Uña, una. Very important. This one is a little bit risque, I suppose, but important, because pollo, the chicken, dead chicken that you eat, cannot be made feminine. So you must not say polla. It means something completely different. It's a part of a male's anatomy. The most important part, I'm sure they would say. I'm sure you can imagine what I mean. I don't have to go into graphic detail. So you wouldn't, I remember years ago when I was studying Spanish, my Spanish teacher told me that another of her students, not me, luckily, had actually been at the market and asked this, quiero una polla grande caliente, when really what she should have said, or he, I can't remember, it was a man or a woman, quiero un pollo grande caliente. So please do not ask for a polla unless you're absolutely clear that that's what you want. Okay, another one. Embarrassed. When we want to say we're embarrassed in Spanish, this is one of the most, such a false friend, because you think, oh yes, estoy embarazada, or embarazado, of course, for a man. It's the easiest thing in the world to say. You think it sounds like embarrassed, but it doesn't mean embarrassed. It means pregnant. Of course, we probably wouldn't have masculine unless is it seahorses that can get pregnant? I don't think there's any other animals where the male can get pregnant. But sí, estoy embarazada does not mean I'm embarrassed. It means I'm pregnant. So if you want to say I'm embarrassed, you would say estoy avergonzado, or gonzada. Again, masculine, feminine. That's the correct way to say I'm embarrassed. Not this way, unfortunately, because of course it'd be a lot easier if it was. Okay, here 3 words, very similar. We've got hombre, hambre, hombro. So do you know the difference? Hombre is a man. So of course they're all completely different. So it's very important that you say the right one. Hombre, man. Hambre, hunger. Hombro, shoulder. So they couldn't be much more different, really. So remember not to pronounce H. That's coming up with one of the tips later on. Hombre, man. Hambre, hunger. Hombro, shoulder. Just one letter difference here between hombre and hambre, and then one letter difference between hombre and hombro, and 3 completely different meanings of those words. So be careful with them. This one, very typical thing, very typical mistake that people make. And of course, I'm not going to go into all the ins and outs of por and para. I do have videos. Remember, there's lots of videos. You can search por and para. Many of my videos will come up explaining to you the difference between por and para. But this is just really one thing, always for gracias. Siempre, 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 sin excepción. So it's one of those nice things that has no exceptions. Gracias por whatever. Never, ever, ever para. Always gracias por. Okay, so another one that's not exactly risque, but these are things that they are important, because if you say the wrong thing, you will be completely misunderstood. If you say estoy caliente, you're not saying I'm hot or I'm warm, maybe in the way that you want to say it. Estoy caliente is a completely different kind of hot, like you're really, in a good mood, like feeling a bit of loving, if you like. So caliente for a person we should never use. Caliente is only for food and drink. If we use caliente for a person, it means something else. We don't even use it for the weather. Not that it's got a wrong meaning, but it's wrong to say, oh, hoy es caliente. No. Hoy hace calor when you're talking about the weather. So estoy caliente is a no-no unless you actually want to say that you're feeling in an amorous mood. You should say tengo calor if you're saying I feel hot. Similar vein, número 9, excitar or excitado. And they're nice and easy because you've got the verb to excite and the adjective excited, but they are not just excited to go on holiday, they are excited as in the biblical way, let's say. So only use excitar or excitadora if that's the sort of excited you are. If you're excited about going on holiday or meeting someone new or starting your Spanish class or anything, having a new baby, etc., then the verb you need is emocionar, and the adjective excited, estoy emocionado. Not excitado unless you're a different, kind of excited. Okay, y número 10, the last one, el último. Remember never to pronounce the H. Okay, it's quite difficult, I think, especially for British people or English, any English speaker, I suppose, because we have it drummed into us, pronounce your H's, and it's bad if you don't pronounce your H's. Now we're learning a language where we have to pronounce our H's. We have to not pronounce our H's nearly always, and I'll explain why in a moment. But yeah, so we've got some words here. Hotel, we just ignore the H as if it's not even there. Hotel, ahora, so you're skipping over the H. I know there was some discussion in educational circles about actually taking it out of the alphabet because it was so unnecessary. But I think in the end it was decided to keep it in the alphabet because, of course, it's used in other languages. So it wouldn't be a good idea to take it out of the alphabet altogether. So we've got hotel, ahora, hospital, not hospital. Now, exceptions, as I found out many years ago when I was trying to get some Harry Potter books in Spanish for my son. I'm going into the bookshop and asking for Harry Potter, and they just looked at me blank, and I'm going, Harry Potter. And then the girl went, Harry Potter. So yes, when you're talking about things, that are recognised from other languages with a H, they do pronounce it. It's like a H, Harry Potter. But generally, for any Spanish word, no, we do not pronounce our H's in Spanish. So there you go. Okay, so that's the end of that video. I hope those things are useful for you. Okay, so that's it for this video. Eso es todo para este video. Thank you for being here with me to learn English or Spanish. I appreciate it. So gracias por estar aquí conmigo para aprender inglés o español. Te lo agradezco mucho. Why not stay a little while with me and keep me company? Watch a few more videos to learn Spanish or English. If you feel like it, of course. Quédate conmigo un rato para aprender inglés o español. Para darme compañía. Si te apetece, claro. And finally, as always, finalmente, como siempre, que tu Dios vaya contigo. May your God go with you. And I will see you real soon in the next video. Y te veo muy pronto en el próximo video. Gracias. Thank you. Adiós.